we're good.
Okay, we're holding in Basra the Amud Aleph, starting in the top of the Amud Aleph. We learned in the end of yesterday's daf, or the last part of yesterday's daf, started talking about a makiv es chavir misholosh v'choisov. Someone has a field, and his friend put 3 fields around it, and then he put a fence in between. According to Rashi, according to Tosfos Bava, he put a fence around the fields. And the question is, does he have to pay or not? And the Gemara said, the Mishnah said, when learning the Gemara, that if you build the 4th fence, Gemara brought a discussion, who built the 4th fence? Was the makif or the nikaf? Was the one who's surrounding, or the one who's in the middle of the garden, build the 4th fence? So then he has to pay for the entire fence. Says the Gemara, Runyo akfei ravino me'aribu choisov. So Runya is the name of a person that we mentioned his name in Bava Metzia. Towards the end of Bava Metzia, we had a story with him. So akfei ravino me'aribu choisov, Rino surrounded him from 4 angles. Omulei haveli kamene gadri. Give me, I put a fence around him. I wanted to pay for the fence. Lo ya'avli, he did not pay. You know what? I'm not asking for the payment of the fence. Pay me for the low grade fence, as we learned in previous Amud. That you have, that you can pay. You don't have to pay me. I will go with the mandamar that says you just participate in the lowest value of fence. I'm not asking you to pay a full fence. Lo ya'avli, did not want to pay. Yeah, cheap fence, exactly.
2/3 of the retail.
Hopefully, I'm going to do the two. So he says, you know what? We learned in previous Amud, there's another 1 level less than that. Paying for a guard during the months of the harvest. So we'll pay, ask for that. Lo yoyevli, didn't pay. So Runya is not paying.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Runya was very comfortable till this guy comes along. What's the problem to that? Because you made it better. I didn't ask you. I was fine before.
So, but this is what we learned in previous Amud. Amud makif. So we said, Tosfos said,
if it's the nikif, then you should.
So Tosfos said that we say there's a umden das that if you did the 4th fence, especially if it's only paying the 4th fence, then you for sure want to pay for it.
What's that? If the makif did it?
Yeah. That's what it is. They have a umden das.
I don't understand the scope of it. I lived there for 10 years, didn't need a fence. Right. You show up. You built 4 fences. Of course, I'm happy.
Is it the Gemara?
No.
So I'll leave you have to pay for the 4th.
Is what the Gemara that says if I do something that benefits somebody else, he has to pay for it?
Oh, that's another point. Very good.
You mean I can go to your field and I cover?
Yeah. The Rishayim, it's a good point because the Rishayim do ask from there. Why don't you pay always the full amount, like you see over there? So that's a discussion. Why is this mechuluk from a case when you plant a tree in someone else's field? You have to pay for it. But I benefited you. There is such a thing. There's a concept. Benefited you, have to pay. So he says, you know what? Go take from him. Kibur deini is a eshkol shator, as Rashi says. Go. I want to show. I want to prove to him, to Runya, that he's very happy with the fence. Okay. Yeah, how? Go in, try to steal from him. Kibur deini. So he goes in. He starts screaming at him. What are you doing? Guys, you see, you're very happy with the fence. Because you need to guard for thieves. What?
Without the fence too.
Oh. So the Shaila is what? Yeah, nobody still shows up. He said, you don't like thieves. Don't tell me you like thieves. It's hard to understand. Because of course, I never said I like thieves. I just I don't care so much about it. So he said, it goes on after. So that's the next sentence. Forget about thieves. What happens if you have goats coming in, animals coming in? So you need to have a nitirusa. You see, you're not very happy. You want to have nitirusa. So Omar lays. He tells him, all I need to do, I have to just scream at him. I'm very happy with that situation. I have a goat. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to be there whenever the goat comes. I'm going to scream at him and yell at him. Don't you need someone to, you need to hire someone to do that. Someone needs to be there screaming on the goats. So I'm just proving to you that you need to have it. So the mashmos of many of the Rishonim here is this whole thing that Ravina is doing was the free Mishra Sadin. It doesn't have, what is you have to prove? I don't have to prove you anything. Yeah, we learned in our Mishnah that if even the Makif build the fourth fence, you have to build it. He was just trying to appease him and say, you should know, look at that. You're very happy with the fence. Well, I'll try to do it in a nice way. But not that you need to go and do that. This whole thing. I don't have to come prove to you anything. Says the Gemara, also made the Roman. Went for a Roman was dying. Pay him whatever Ravina is willing to take. If not, we'll go based on Shua Sedin. I'm going to go like Ravuna, name of Veresi. As we learned in the previous Amud, Ravuna is the one who says you have to pay the full fence. You have to participate in the full fence. Not like the Shita of Rav Chia that said to make Koni B'Zoyim. Says that's the real halacha. You have to pay the whole thing. If he's willing to take less of you, go ahead and do that. Accept whatever payment he's willing to take from you. If not, you have to pay much more. Here, the Dark Moshe says here a big yisoid coming from this Gemara. Why is Rava saying pay the minimum amount? He deserves more. Rava himself says you really have to pay. You have to pay like Rav Huna. You have to participate in the entire fence. So why is he accepting less? Says the Dark Moshe brought down based on the Ramah that you see from here that Beis Din are not niskak. They don't deal with something that doesn't have a tvia, a demand. You must have a demand. Meaning, if the plaintiff comes and says, I won this, so you call Beis Din, will deal with it. But if the tvia says, I want only a portion of it, Beis Din, I can come to, by the way, you should know, you're entitled to more. You're entitled to more, come ask for more. We don't do that. And this goes into Indian. What do you mean?
You don't know when he came to Basra once he showed up in Basra.
No, we told you showed up with the last time. He says, pay me at least the amount of the shamer. I want to pay me something for that. So at least a shamer you need. After he's saying, he brought that was his last time. Pay me for the shamer. And I'm going to show you the goat, so you need a shamer. So he's asking for the shamer. He says, okay, I'll pay you that. You should know. If you don't do that, I'm going to be kindness you. I'm going to penalize you to pay whatever you need to pay. What do you mean? That's what you need to pay anyway. She said, no, that's not what you have to pay because there was no tvio, there was no demand, you don't pay with no demand. There's a big yisod that goes to the Achronim, actually the Maharal, when he mentions it, we're talking about Din and Beis Din. The Beis Din, they don't come to solve issues. Beis Din are coming to solve this moments at least, they're not coming to solve the world, they're coming to solve your tvio. You have a demand. Reuven is coming to Vidona, Losher Apostle. Vidona ben Ishu, ben Geir, ben Chaver. You have two people coming to Beis Din. We have to settle it. I'm not coming to come and tell you what the truth is, what the emes is, and come to give you what you deserve in Dinim Momis. So that was the first part of the Gemara, ending the sugya of a makif. It was a makif. Here you have a taina. You do the fourth one. You have to do the whole thing, and that's a taina over here. Now, Zok to Gemara now. Another story of Runya and Ravina. Runya Zovin Aryo a mitzvah de Ravina. He bought a land on the Mitzvah Ravina. Here's where we get to Bar Mitzvah. There are a few lines of Bar Mitzvah. That Runya is buying a land right next door to Ravina. So Ravina l'sluki v'shudim the Bar Mitzvah. He says, one second, it's my land right next door to me. So I have the time of Bar Mitzvah, give it to me. Don't do that. What does it mean? So here, there's a few piyushim in the Rishonim. Let's see what Lashon Rashi inside. Rashi says like this. Zok Rashi. Ani shamati. I heard. Tzolo ratzan ani. Tzolo means a shoemaker who's poor. Vitzalalo is Vatzal Nashir. That's a rich shoemaker. V'chen amar, that's what he told him. Arbo kikar tzrichim latzani lemachos beisuliyoim kamo shetzrichim leoshir. To feed a guy, you need to eat bread. The poor man has to eat bread. The rich man has to eat bread. V'zeh oni u'vitzorich la'asodeh lefarnasa. He's oni. He needs a parnasa. Ukeshem she'ata omer lo istalek me'alai b'din d'var metzu b'shuv asisa yoshev ha'toif. He says, you want to come bar mitzvah. Where's bar mitzvah coming from? So he said, Yoshev Atoy, that's where we learn bar mitzvah. Do the right thing. The right thing is, the poor man, he needs to eat. He should get it because he needs to eat. That's how Rashi brings in the first chapter. Rashi himself says, V'yeshli gamgim, da'or korit solo v'lo ratza. Solo refers to the hide, to the leather, not to the person. So if it's talking about if it's talking about the or, why are you saying solo means a poor shoemaker? Rashi doesn't like that. Rashi says another shot. What Runa used to do is he used to sell the leather to the shoemakers. So you have to pay, there's a lot of money to pay, a lot of expenses to get the leather to be used. You have to pay for the leather, and then you have to pay for the workers. So he tells him he has so many expenses, help him out. That's what Rashi says in the second shot. There's a third shot that Rashi brings over here. As before, I should point out that this is not Rashi himself, that's Hago, because he goes back to say that solo is talking about the or. If you want to just see the first line, very similar to the first shot, but he goes in and he says that why was Runia Oni and Ravina Rusher? Because Runia had one field in the middle and Ravina had 4 fields. So he tells him, let Runia have it. Now how does that connect? That's the first time, according to Rashi, connecting it to the previous sugya. We're talking about the Runia bought the field, the Runia is in the middle. Ravina is to 4 sides. And he bought the field right next door to Ravina. So it's pretty close to Runia, but it's not really. He's not a bar mitzvah Runia, according to this Rashi, but it's close by. So that's what he tells him. If you're ready to see Rashi inside, he says, "Oh, mashalu keneged Runia shel sod de'achas to sod Ravina kadam la'el Ravina aktiv me'arbor u'choisov." So you covered it on all 4. The actual kono sod etzel meitzer Ravina u'mafsik sod Ravina ben tzadoisov. So you will have to have the same things. That's why I should conclude. Just happens to be because Runa is in the middle. The 4 sod is Ravina, and he bought right next to Ravina.
On the outside.
The outside.
So it's not mafsik.
So it's in between. There's Ravina. He's not connected. Ravina is in between. Ravina is happens to be in between the 2 sod that he bought. So he tells them, so you have Yosef Atom, he needs 2 fields. So Rashi brings here, according to this, where we have Rashi, have 3 pshatim. Either pshat is just he needs to eat, he's a poor man, or he has a lot of expenses. That's the number 2. And the number 3 is that the number 3 is that you have here that he should have 2 fields.
Either way, in Brachim, then.
So Tonis asked the question, what do you mean? Bar mitzvah is a din. Why are you giving him in Brachim a din? Why are you giving him a mivater because he's oni? Okay, he's not tying on oni. So the first explain Rashi 2 ways. One way is to say, bar mitzvah is different. What's the mocker of bar mitzvah? The whole source of bar mitzvah is not a mamish din. It's the right thing to do. If that's the whole base of bar mitzvah, so against that you do have merachim adin, because you have to do the right thing. That's one way. The other way is when we learned bar mitzvah and Daf Gimel, we learned that it's a pay gimel. You have that the person that we're asking tzaddikim to act in a certain way. Right? There's a story over there that you have to pay the workers, even though the workers actually ruined everything. Why? Because you have a pasuk that you give, you try, you do more than you have to. So it's a tiny Ravina not needs Ikar Din. It doesn't Ravina, you have to go to Mishras Din. You're chashav enough that you have to do with Mishras Din. That's how Rashi learns it. The Toisa says, Toisa means 2 other pshat. The one pshat is that we're talking about a field. Remember, what was the story of Ravina and Runya? Ravina has 4 fields all around. Runya is in the middle. There's another field over there. In that middle where Runya is, there's another field. That field, Runya is a bar mitzvah from one side, and Ravina is bar mitzvah for 3 sides, because Ravina has all 4 sides, Runya is in the middle, and he wants to buy that extra small field, which is right next door to him. So the shaila is they're both bar mitzvahs. So Ravina, yeah, you're bar mitzvah for 1 side, I'm bar mitzvah for 3 sides. I deserve it more. It says, that comes a taino, the poor, the rich, we don't care if it's 1 side or 3 sides. The taina is you're both bar mitzvahs, therefore, whoever comes first, and Runya came first. That's the taina according to Taisus, so the taina pidim. And another pshat says is that Runya was a oris by Ravino. He was a sharecropper of Ravino. So the chiddush is that as a sharecropper, he also has a taina bar mitzvah. But according to Taisus is that he has a taina, and that's another discussion here in the Mefashim. But you have here a taina bar mitzvah. According to Taisus, is a taina. The Runya has a taina as well as bar mitzvah. That's why it's a pidim. Because Runya has a taina bar mitzvah. That's a discussion over here. So according to Taisus, it's very gishmak. It's very new get. So it's not just by the way. That's what Taisus also asks it. If you want to bring stories with Runya Ravina, we have other stories. Well, let's see another story.
The Taisus' case doesn't. Now I'm asking from my Gemara that there was another. Otherwise, the taina.
Okay.
Why is he paying the whole thing? There's another guy who's paying for the.
So question is, according to Taisus is hemshich hasugya. We're talking about mitzvah. That Taisus wants to say, yeah, of course, I hear that's a good taina Taisus. But Taisus learns, you're talking here about mitzvah as well, and that's why it's all with the bar mitzvah comes with the same story. Have a makim yarbu chaysov, and that's where you have that taina.
According to Rashi, it would make a difference if the 2 rich people, there would be no bar mitzvah according to Rashi.
There would be bar mitzvah only.
No, we only bar mitzvah. There won't be a taina that gives bar mitzvah. That's Yeshiva is right. Yeah. According to Rashi, according to the first Rashi is, and this is what we had when we speak about the case of bar mitzvah. So you have, let's see that classic case that we have today. You have somebody who lives in Lawrence and he has a very big house. So right next to him, there's a small property. And he wants, we learned, even though in Bava Taisus holds, you don't say bar mitzvah unless you talk about a field, but we say Allah Chalamayim, so we do it even in our houses. And then the rich man wants to buy the house next door. Comes somebody, he has no place to live, he found finally one place, and he wants to buy this house. Can he come and tell you to him? He says, listen, I know you're bar mitzvah, but give me the opportunity. I finally found the house at an affordable price. I want to get it. That'll be a great Rashi. Maybe it's a taina. Yeah? Maybe a lot of kids. I finally found something at a normal price. Well, there'll be interest. According to Rashi, Rashi seems to be that there's a taina. It depends on all the meforshim. If it's a taina bad or not.
Really interesting.
And just to conclude, before we go on to the Mishnah, just to say there's a vote that I saw. I have to check it again. I saw in the name of Vilna Goyen. But now I saw it's brought down the name of somebody else, so I'm not sure if the Vilna Goyen vote or not. That we told you the Mishnah speaks about Hamakiv Chaverim Migim Ruchoisov. And then if you did the 4th one, so then there's a taina that you have to pay. So that's the pshat in the Mishnah. Akorchacho atanoilet, akorch atachai, akorch atameis, akorchacho atasei the 10 din v'cheshbon. So you have 4 akorchos. The 4 things happen without your will. You're born, you live, you die, and then you have din v'cheshbon. So he says, there's a pshat like this. A person comes to a Kadosh Baruch Hu and says, what do you want from me? I didn't want it. You forced me. You forced me to be born. You forced me to live. You forced me to do din cheshbon. I don't want to do din cheshbon. So 1 second. When you're dying, you're yelling and screaming. You don't want to die. So you did makif the ruach revis. If someone is makif 3 ruchas, you don't have to pay. But if you did yourself the 4th, so then magalgim lava sakoil. So once you say you're not happy to die, so then you really show that you do want to live. And you want to be here, so you have to give din cheshbon as well.
There are people at end of life who say the exact opposite. So we're going to give a different time.
Yeah, but that's only end of life. Nobody comes in when he's 30 years old. Usually, I mean, a normal person when he's 30 years old is up and thing. Doesn't want to die. So that's the when he asks to go to the doctors, he's not going to go into it. Okay. Zog the Mishnah. Koisel chotzer shenofal mechayvi moisoi libnoisoi at arba'amis. So you have a wall of a chotzer between 2 shutfim, and you have to build a wall. So you build it al arba'amis. Rashi says over here arba'amis ha'ches sagil ez hezekriyo. So Rashi is like that we're going here with hezekriyo, even though the Gemara was discussing if it's hezekriyo or not.
In this case, you said it wasn't hezekriyo.
Yeah.
Because they had the wall before, the taina was, there's a lot of...
So Rashi is making here, the point of Sharav is agreed, that's arba'amis. Continues the Mishnah that says, B'chezkas shenosan ad shevi rayo sheloi nosan. We assume he probably paid, because that's the obligation. His obligation is to pay for the wall. So we're assuming that he paid for the wall, unless you bring a riot, unless the other person brings a riot did not pay for the wall. But more than 4 ames, there's no obligation to pay.
Even if you were to bring a riot?
No, if he brings a riot that he paid. It doesn't have to pay.
Go back to the case. Just say you have to pay more than 4.
Bring a riot for what?
It's not like you have to go back to the room.
If the original wall was 6 hammers.
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking? If the original wall was
It
6
was originally 6 hours. That's the tiny. It was originally 6
If it was 6 amas, you say, I'm assuming you pay for the first 4 amas.
Right.
The last 2 amas, you're not obligated to pay. Now, but if he went and he did an extension, he takes another wall, and he builds another wall right across from the first wall, because he's planning to build, he's about to put a roof. Even though he did not yet put the roof, then you have to pay for the whole thing, because you showed the nichadaite the wall. Do you want to have that wall? Here, I'm assuming you didn't pay, because you weren't supposed to pay till now. Now that you're building the wall, now you're saying, yeah, you have to pay. So I'm assuming that right now you didn't pay for that, unless the extra above 4 hours. Right. Rashi adds, so if you look at Rashi, someone looks lacher, le'acher shebno echod l'mayad al amas habe. Rashi adds the words, v'lo yotzo acher l'sayer b'agbasa. He originally did not want to pay for it. So Rashi, that's part of the issue. He didn't want to pay. Here's a tiny on him. You see, he didn't want to pay. So someone and even though you give it, so then you do it. And then just one last Rashi. Because Rashi in boy we should be tovi ledin. Lahakash someone is close to Chris Arishon. Vamo teche kelcho mashik bati. Zormen asati chelki einu nema. Ela beid sheim mishpat ze golu lakoil. Had shechbu bezi eno asuliter. Not everybody knows you have to pay. The first 4 ames.
The earlier Rashi says Goli Lakol. That's why it's.
Oh.
Right, you missed it. Earlier Rashi said that the case of
right. So right, because he says Goli Lakoil. Everybody knows this. This is a standard rule of the law. Everybody knows you between two you have 2 properties, one next to each other, you build a wall. You build a wall, you have to pay for the wall. That's part of that's how it works. Everybody would make sure to get it. But if you're doing more than 4 amas, extra, I don't know. By the way, if you build another wall, you do. That's already, yes, you have to bring to basics. So the Rashi is that really the question is, what is the discussion over here? Do I need to bring it to basics or not? It's something that it's clear that nobody would even deal with it. It's so pashut. And here you have to bring it to basics. That's what Rashi learns over here in the Mishnah. When he does build, so the way in terms of the process, he had to build a wall of 4 amas. He has to pay for it. But the friend built a wall of 6 amas. So, and originally the guy, the shachet doesn't have to pay for it. He was megaladas that he wants the wall, now he has to pay for it. So what exactly is the mechayev? Because he's megaladas that he needs to pay for it. But so the Acharim are struggling. Where is the mokum achiyuv?
Because it was you said you really didn't want it. You really wanted it.
So I have to come because originally I wanted to pay for it.
You originally wanted, yeah.
Which mechayev is it? The Rabbanan were mechayev you to build a wall for Hezekriya. Let's assume Hezekriya or mechayev. Let's think Hezekriya. It's easy. So I have a chiyuv obligation with Chazal to go and build it. Now I was I really like the other 2 feet. So therefore what? How does that make me mechayev?
Because this wall was originally 6 feet. We're talking about a case here. This wall
Doesn't
was
yeah
6
so.
feet. It fell down. Now you always put up 4.
No, fell down. You say because it says no.
This was originally 6
Yeah.
feet.
Okay.
This is already originally 6 feet. This is a total wall from the beginning.
So you want to say that shows originally you wanted.
Exactly.
Right?
Go back to the original.
Now, could I just add one more thing to it? They want to say that you're koine the wall bekinyan chotzer, or megal das that you want that extra two amo, and it's half in your rishus. So as long as you don't want it now koine it, as we learned earlier. The kinyan chotzer, you can't be koine, you can't force it to koine chotzer. But if I want it, I'm koine right away. I'm koine, I have to pay for it. So it's not only a nichadais, it means it's mine. I own that part of the wall. If I own part of the wall, I have to pay for the wall. And this goes into a discussion. Do you have a kinyan chotzer on a karka because the wall now is connected to the karka? So you have kinyan chotzer on a karka or not. They want to be rise from here. Do you have kinyan chotzer even on a karka? Not only metaltal, even a karka.
You're asking different. How can he even use the wall? If it's not, this is how can he even use the wall?
Right here? Very good. Okay. Yeah. It's another angle. This will answer to it. Very good. Says the Gemara.
The second wall, the guy who's building the second wall is faked. He's saying, I don't want your wall.
No, he's putting it.
No, he wants to build a roof.
He's building a roof.
You see, the
Meanwhile, he didn't build the roof. Before he built the roof.
Why is he building that?
And why is he building
Why is
it?
he building a thing in the middle of his parking?
The place I want to build a stone fence.
It seems like here
Not next to.
It's away from
it's away. It's like 4 hours away.
It's away. The guy's
How
building.
much away?
The mashmos says it's away because it says the Mishnah says someone and he is about to build a roof. So actually there's a distance between the two walls.
Okay, but it's near the other walls. I don't want your
You know, the case sounds like what?
It says kineged kotel.
The socket, that was the tension. How do you know? Maybe it's only a portion wall.
He's this. He's like this. No, he's not here like this. He's building like this. He builds it. He wants
Right.
it on top of
He
it.
said some.
Right? He wants to get there.
You have to
So the Gemara.
use it.
Omer shlokish. Akriveya zman mechaveiro v'amar loi parasicho b'toich zmani einu nema. So someone goes and he tells his friend, you need to pay me on, you have to pay me on Tuesday, Chof Siva. And so he asks, and he says, I come now. The way there's even a girsa over here. There's a girsa that adds the words that he came to him on that day. The girsa, because in those words they have it, uba bizmano. Very important for them. Shechasugyo. He comes to him on the day that he's supposed to pay. So uba bizmano. V'omer lo parasim tichzmani. He said I paid earlier.
Why is he not believed?
Einu nema. Why? Velevai sheyifra bizmano. A person asked, one second, a person asked, we assume that a person is not paying early. A person is not paying early. That's what Rish Lakish says. A person does pay something early. Seeing the Mishram and Luzuzay, easily fine. We have, he has the money, he wants to pay back. So Machlik is here in Das B'Yodo. In the Chazaka, should we pay Deichzman or no, but Deichzman? Now, what do you mean, Migoy? Migoy the what?
Ladam.
No, that's the Eidim. The Eidim in the start.
I paid
So
early
you
in the day.
have to pay my guy.
Yeah, I know. I'm afraid I'm asking you. Well, why do you think there's no Eidim on the star? There speaks about how there's no me. No, but we pass it on.
Oh, we say no.
We pass it on. Not Chaver Eidim answer for it. So here's okay. So Taisus says, I say, what about Taisus? Taisus has other questions too. Taisus says, if you want to mention Taisus says, "V'nira li sheyesh eidim shechayav." The couple is bad. He loved name him. She was supposed to the migoy di bay omer very very schmoyel. Taisus goes on to say maybe there's no migoy because it's considered to be like almost like a migoy lohaitzi. Migoy v'koveidim, and therefore. It's considered to be like it's a migoy against a chazaka, against you don't do a migoy against something which is clear that you're not going to do. That's what goes into it. This opens up a whole sugira on its own. But you have the question: do you have the migoy? You don't have a migoy. But here, the machlokes right now, the Gemara is: do you have a chazaka? The person doesn't pay migoy's money. And Mamash in the middle of a sentence. So if him basically says ke'echad l'lichudan, in order for him not to bother me. So if I have money, I want to pay early. Ke'echad l'lichudan. So that's a machlokes. Do you have a chazaka or not? The point over here, this chazaka is a very strong chazaka because really, without the chayim don't use these words, but it's the chazaka of statistics, right? It's not a chazaka of cheskas momin, of chazaka of yehoyo. I'm going chazaka of cheskas miyod. The chayim are bothered because we have a din that we don't go by momin achar roiv. The chayim, which is the chazaka over here, that most people don't pay early. So isn't that based on roiv? So they say. Again, that's what they're using the word. But different chorim, meaning Rabino, the Kavitchurim. This is not a roiv. This is based like it's called Ruba de Leisa. Come on, it's not a roiv that I'm going and say, oh, roiv people. I'm going to go based on the roiv of people in the city. Do they pay early or not? It's like an it's of statistics. A person midnight, people do not pay early, according to Noah, don't pay early, and therefore that's a very strong chazaka that works against women.
I wonder if it was let's see, let's start at this. Somebody's paying 20% interest. Maybe that might that's a reason that you would pay.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
I just paid you an hour ago.
We have over here people that always say in lending. People pay early or don't pay early.
Don't pay on time. Forget
That's
that.
it.
Pay early.
What happened? He said he paid today.
So because Tully says over here, maybe it's a difference if a person has an interest and he's paying interest, maybe then he wants to pay early. But if he has no interest, so then he has no interest. He has no reason to pay early.
Guy's an
Don't pay
honest,
on time.
the guy's an honest guy, and he happens to have the money. You got the money. That has happened even with Muslims.
But how many
They
times?
pay it back.
What happened? He said I paid this morning.
Right, that was
So that's another issue. So that's the Shaila is coming and saying very important for them. We're talking about the day Shemishta is money. We're talking about the day that he's supposed to pay. So Shaila is, why can he say pay that morning?
We get the hustle.
And then we have a migoy. So that's a Rashi to say migoy the hustle. What's the hustle? To come and lie and to say I paid you an hour ago and you're lying. To say you don't remember yesterday in shul there was something in the mail I forgot about it. To say today people to come and lie at Kekat and say such a migoy. Believe me that I paid because I could have said I paid today. Then you won't say that. Okay, so the Gemara. Down Bechezkel shenosa at Shiyovi Raya Shaloi Nosa. He's a chalaka that he paid. I think he's right. He didn't pay in our Mishnah. Right in our Mishnah. Hey Chidam, what's the case? Meaning he gave him time to pay, and he didn't pay. And he paid before. Sorry, paid. Was supposed to pay a certain time, and he paid it. Shito because the shenosa. What?
It's not a debt that has a term.
But at some stage it becomes a debt. He goes to pay, he has to pay. You have a certain payment, he has to pay.
You mean that's the better talk?
Yeah, you have a time. Rashi says, as we'll see now in the Gemara too. The Zmanu is when he finishes the Kaisa. Look at Loshu Rashi. When you finish, that's what you have to pay. So I'm assuming you're paying on time when you finish the Kaisa. So Ela Lav Doma Le Parasicha B'Toyzman. Ela I pay before you finish the Kaisa. Hamo V'Inish the Pai B'Toyzman. So person pays early. So Shani Yochad they call Shofa B'Shofa Zamnu. Every row, it's not when you finish the Kaisa you have to pay. You have to pay every row. Every row that you build, pay me for that. Well, I have to wait for you to finish the whole Kaisa. I hired workers, they work for one day, pay me for that. So that's why you can say I paid early. Toshua the end of the Mishnah. If he bid 6 hours, even more, so Chazgah they didn't pay it to Bizaraya Shinosa. What's the case? Say I pay you on time. Am I like? Meaning, if I pay when you finish, when he was the Galadas, he has to pay. Because right away. Elamai say I pay you early. Because money right, you don't pay early. No, he says, as Rashi pointed out, I'm not sure. You can go to Beis Din, they're going to say you have to pay, you have to be shtat if you know first wall. I'm not sure about that. Rashi says, Enu Golu L'Koil, we saw before. It's not Golu L'Koil. So I'm not sure that I'm going to have to pay for the first wall. I'm not paying you until Beis Din forces me to pay. So there they say people don't pay, people pay early. The people don't pay early. We assume he did not pay early. Even for Yisayim. You say that you assume he didn't pay early, even though usually time the ties to Yisayim. See Yisayim, here's the big thesis you're discussing. He's talking about Yisayim G'dayim. He says, what's the speak Yisayim G'dayim? So K'tanim to speak about which Yisayim we're talking about. Even though we have a din that priya, you have to do a shua. If the only way you could say the father paid was because we have a chazaka, they don't pay, even klapi yisayim. We have a chazaka, didn't pay because money. Now, I will continue in a few more lines into Daf Vomudal, just because the Gemara is going to repeat this whole thing. Most will be a repetition, and it's obviously at the sukkahs we're going to. There's a chance of getting the Daf tomorrow as well, so we'll see. Says the Gemara, so I'm taking it on my own cheshbon. Ibayilu says the Gemara. What happens if he came not beyond Mishnah Zman? That's the flip side. He came after the Zman. He's supposed to pay on Chav Sivon. He comes to Chafei Sivon. Says, pay me. And I paid early. Now comes that I paid early. When did I pay? I paid before. Now he could have said I paid on Bazman. Right. But he said I paid early. Me, I'm reading Bukom Chazaka, I'm reading Mal Shaker. The Bava Mudalef, or Dim Bukom Chazaka, learn me Mal Shaker. I have a Chazaka, you don't pay early. But I have a Migui. My Migui is, I could have said that I paid Bazman. Right. I could have said I paid Chav Sivon. But I told you I paid on Shlosh Sivon. So, do I say Migui against the Chazaka? I don't say Migui against the Chazaka. So here comes that discussion of the Achronim. How strong is this Chazaka? They have a Migui against it. Do I work against it or not? So more now, the first two rabbis bring the same Mishnah to our Mishnah. Toshma bechezka shenosa shvi raya shaloi nosa. So we want to say differently. He was tovia after the time, and he said, I paid on time. Shito, pays them. So the Gemara could have said, no. The Gemara could have said it was tovia zmani. If the Gemara says the Mishnah is talking about a case he came after and he said before, there's no Toich Zman, because every time you build the building, it's right away after Zman. So there's no Toich Zman. Every single thing he did is Zman. Toshma Midal Alas Vilamal Vidal and above, so the second part of the Mishnah, that should be a Raya Shenosa. Again, Echidani. He was today after Zman, he said, pay you doing Zman. Am I lying? That's what the case. He said, "Because money." So again, the Gemara could have said, "No, he used to be up his man, and then after his man." So he says, "I could here again. It's coming back to the same answer. I'm not sure Rabbanon Mechayim, so that's why I didn't pay you his man. But any time usually if I have a migoy, the migoy would be chazaka. But here I don't have a migoy. I don't trust you. I don't trust you because against that you're telling me I don't think you would pay if you don't know Rabbanon Mechayim." So Moira says the last raya, another raya. Migo, that's the shaila. That's a guy kush. Can I go migo get chazak against this chazak or not? That's exactly the question of the Gemara. Someone comes to somebody else says, "You owe me money." Says, "Yeah, I do. You're right. I owe you money." The next day he told him, "Okay, where's the money?" He says, "I paid you." Pater. Why? Because he could have said, I never owed you. He said, I owed you and I paid you. But if he says, I never owed you. Chayof. Says, well, what does it mean? When I say, the word understands that, what does it mean? The words, I paid you. I paid you on time. When I say, it means I paid you, but I just paid you early. I mean, I didn't pay you when I'm supposed to pay you. You see with chazak, I don't say that. You don't say I probably didn't pay in time. But I don't say that you paid early, even though I have a migoy. As we said, he said I never had this loan. He admitted he had the loan. So come and say I never had the loan. That he said. So now. He said, I never had the loan. So he said, right. Oh, so now he says, what's the shot? He says afterwards, so they come and say, what do you mean? You said you owed. Yeah, but I paid. I paid. Hi, you said you never owed. Because I say you paid. I meant to say that I paid it back. I don't owe you. Those are the we shouldn't bring. It's as if when I told you I never owed you, because I really meant to say I owed you, but I paid you. So the Gemara, no. If you said you don't owe it, it's as if you admit leparasi. Whenever you say I never owed the money, it's like safe clearly. I don't know if you have to go migo gradient. It's already said
I'm saying, but you want to kind of migo.
Against the migo, so it's against your ador. It's even stronger against your ador. So you said against it. You said okay. Yeah.